Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. My partner tonight on the program, Alhaji Yabagi Sani, a presidential candidate of the ADP in the presidential election of 2019. Mr. Daniel Bwala, barrister at the Lincoln's Inn, London. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on tonight. We've been talking about President Buhari, his tactics, his strategies, his plan and agenda for 2019 up to 2023, his second coming. What he has done in the past days. Again, if we flash our viewers some of those things that the president has done in a couple of days, almost 60-something days since he has office as president for a second term, in the next level agenda that the president has presented to Nigeria, the 5 basic points that they've said they want to do: jobs, infrastructure, issues of power, issues of inclusion and all of that. And we're dissecting whether or not how they're performing, good or bad. Let me come back to Alhaji Yabagi Sani. From what we've seen and what you've seen, the promises, the campaign promises, what the president said, the body language, what he has done, the pace of work, how would you assess him for this second time in the last few days?
Well, it might be too early to the jury is still out on this matter because I have not seen the ministers at work yet. And the ministers are the ones that will tell us whether what Mr. President say, they are really going to deliver, and then act in the manner that the president has demonstrated now. But I expect them to follow suit. And then, like my colleague here has said, I think Mr. President should look beyond those the agencies. I mean, should look beyond what he's doing now to the agencies, especially the revenue generation agencies, particularly the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Allocation Commission, that has responsibility of superintending over the revenues generated for the federation account. That agency needs to be empowered so that they can do their job properly by monitoring, by also, they can also be able to give Mr. President indications of where agencies are falling below their targets, and where there are some issues of people taking laws into their hands by enriching themselves. I want to also talk about the governors, because the state governors are also very important in this equation. If you look at what is happening, the state governors, under Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Allocation Commission, they are supposed to give advice to governors on how they spend their money. It's not a case of you coming to collect allocation from the federation account, you go back, you spend anyhow, you don't make returns to the federal government for them to know whether you have spent money in the manner as intended by the Constitution. What I'm trying to say is that the president should also superintend over what is happening at the state level, because that's where it matters. That's where it affects the grassroots.
But
I'm happy. Mr.
Again, sorry,
Alhaji
Yabagi, if I'm a button, sorry. A lot of people may argue differently that it's a federal system of government where the states need to be allowed to thrive. But if you look carefully at some of the ways and manner in which the president has gone, some of the policy decisions that they have made, the signing of the AFCTA treaty, the appointment of the new NNPC boss, the setting up of the police reform, the directive that he gave to CBN on the ban of forex on food import, and in fact, even how fast or how slow he reacted to appointing or nominating ministers. These are some of the issues that are on the table, and one would think that is it the kind of president that a lot of Nigerians envisaged when they were campaigning in the 2019 election?
Yeah, I agree with the constitutional aspect of Mr. President not dabbling with the states. But look at what happened in the central bank. The president also is not supposed to direct central bank not to allocate foreign exchange for food importation in the manner it was done. But I don't blame Mr. President, because the CBN governor himself dabbled into fiscal policies instead of concentrating on the monetary policies. You know, so you have confusion in the system, because where you have the president directing and managing the affairs of the central bank is inimical to the growth of the economy, you know, going forward. And then again, Seun, if you look at the issue of Atiku, I'm saying that because I'm disturbed. Look at what happened in the build-up to the 2019 elections. The leader of the APC, I understand that 2 billion vans moved money to his house. This was about a week or so to the elections. What has happened? Is that not also money laundering? So if they are investigating Atiku on $2.5 million, they should also investigate and tell Nigerians that whether this happened or it didn't happen. And what did they do with that money? So these are the issues that Mr. President should also go beyond, you know, the issue, the state, what he's doing today. So because this would demonstrate to people that not only is he trying to impress certain people, you know, for his own sake, but for our sake. Our stake will be that you have a total war against corruption. That is also corruption. And that affected the elections in a manner that Nigerians are not happy with. So what I'm saying, I salute the courage of Mr. President. I'm happy he's doing what he's doing today, but I want you to do more. I want you to go down to the level of what Nigerians have been saying before, that he's protecting members of the APC. People that have been put before the
let me allow Mr. Bwala to come in here. There's been a lot of criticism, especially in the first term of President Buhari, on the issues of his reaction to rule of law, obeying of court orders, issues of the manner in which they're fighting corruption, how they handled the economy. For some of the things that we've listed so far, what would you say to those who are criticizing the president that he has not done enough?
Let me tell you the little I know about the president, and I think I know a little. If somebody is tasked with the responsibility of advising the president on the order of court and the need for government to obey, the president, I know, will obey the court order. If you recall, I was in your studio the other time, I said the sum total of a leader is the body of information provided to him by his advisors. And the president is not a lawyer. So if an advice is not given to him, or a wrong advice is given to him, he will act based on the advice because he wants to respect the office of those he has put in those positions to advise him. But unfortunately, the advice may be wrong. He is somebody who adheres to the rule of law. But whether the people who advise him on that are properly advising him is a different kettle of fish. Then let me tell you something that is also very important. As a stakeholder in the fight against corruption, anytime in symposium or in seminar when we try to talk to people about getting the Nigerian people to take ownership of the fight, part of the questions that always come back to us is that the fight against corruption is being controlled. That is to say, an individual may be itemized for investigation. And some may even tell you that they've written petition to the relevant agencies and that nothing has come out of it. So what we try to tell them is, even in America, what they do is they create online platform. And I urge the president to do that. The people in his new media can better appreciate that. Create an online platform where, for example, where there is obvious perceived corruption in the polity, people can sign online petition for the investigation of that individual. So that if an agency is not interested or does not find it marketable enough to push it, or the person who controls the agency or advises the agency is not interested in the matter, because of the online petition and the volume, the president will be compelled to call for the investigation of this individual. It is done in the United Kingdom, it is done in the United States, it is done in Canada, and it is done in most civilized society. And so if you want to give the ownership of the fight to the Nigerian people, let's create that online platform so that people can sign petition for the investigation of individuals who breach the law.
Yeah. I must sincerely thank my two guests on the program tonight. Mr. Daniel Bwala, member of the Lincoln's Inn, a lawyer, and Alhaji Yabagi, the presidential candidate of the ADP in 2019 and the national chairman of the ADP. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on tonight. Well, that's our show for tonight. And the eyes have it. Don't forget, whatever you do, if you are in a leadership position, don't forget to be on the side of the people, the popular side. That's how you leave it, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Seun Okibale. Bye-bye.